Morning world. Bit gloomy. Hey ho, such is life. I'm fortunate enough, I have a barn. And in a barn, no, I don't have animals, not yet. And no, I'm not a farmer. I'm fortunate enough to have something that I truly do believe is wonderful. Doesn't look pretty at the moment. Just an update on Boo, my camper. She's an old front's off for that because I've got to get a radiator off of it. Yeah, it's a 42-year-old Mercedes 608D. And yeah, a little bit tired, but it is what it is. I love it. It's an investment, it's beautiful, and I just spend my time doing, on wet days, I do work on this because in here I'm dry. And what I do with this is I'm just giving you an update. I have put an earlier video before the liberation thing came out, and I am looking at it like this. You can see bits and pieces in there now. It's all been blacked out internally. Where I've needed to weld, excuse my nose, it's itching. It's been welded. I'm not the world's best welder, but I can make metal stick together. And down here, this was put in by a welder for me because the back end was really quite bad, and that's a bit of 3x2 box section. And beside it there, which is tacked to the chassis, the frame of the floor, and the 3x2. So the back end of this now is extremely solid. It's anything at the moment internally on this, right up to the front seats there, has been treated, cut, welded, anti-rusted using, I can't remember what I was using now for the anti-rust treatment, to be honest with you. But then obviously red oxide and then chassis black paint, of which I'm now getting very close to putting the floor back in. I've got to get the fuel tank out and sort the fuel sender out because that's a bit temperamental. Tends to be a bit like that. It's a common fault with Mercedes, especially as they get a bit older. But let me just close this and I shall wander around to show you the next aspect of what it is. And I don't have my stick with me today. And so yes, so that's my, I call it my wet day project. And today's a little bit damp, so I may be getting on with it a little bit later. I just happened to come to the barn because I've been down to the shop for some milk. So there we have that side of it. It's going, it's a very slow project. I'm in no rush. I mean, there's no timeline to it. Be nice if I can use it this summer. But in this trailer we have the ingredients. It's going to be a bit dark in there, but as you can see, there's some rolls of plastic insulation. A lot of people talk about rock wool and things like that, but rock wool bad because it holds moisture. So the plastic stuff doesn't. I mean, the other one is sheep's wool. Sheep's wool's good, but it's costly. So I've opted for the plastic insulation, and that'll be for the sides and the roof. The floor, this is going to be one that people will be surprised, and I am expecting an awful lot of comments. But it's going to be a double floor, and it's going to have a base floor, then it'll have the solid insulation boards put in and another floor on top. The base will be 18mm and the top will be 12mm. So I'll have the insulation and I'll have the sturdiness. Fortunately, I'm lucky enough to have the height to not have to worry about that too much. But what I'm using is an awful lot of people in the van life, van construction industry, and as you look on YouTube, with the older vans and the wooden floor vans, people use buffalo board, phenolic ply. Very durable, very good, can't fault it. It's also very expensive. One of the big factors of buffalo board and phenolic ply, which is it's the same thing, it's just different names, is it's treated and covered and designed for, as I call it, abuse. Carrying heavy weights, having heavy things dragged across it, pallets, industrial machinery and all that. That is what that ply is designed for. So it is extremely durable, which comes across as being, yes, the perfect answer. I disagree. Now, this is the point that you will turn around and go, you don't know what you're on about. Maybe I don't. But I'm using OSB as my base floor. This has got the alarm bells running, hasn't it? I've done my research, and a lot of research. I've talked to a lot of people, some good friends that are in the building game, been building for years. OSB, the life expectancy of OSB, if treated respectfully, is 40 years. Now, 40 years. How long do I want that camper to last? So, it's extremely cheap compared to buffalo board. Now, with the OSB that you can see in there, that's at the bottom of the pile, the ply is on top. When you cut it and shape it and get it to fit, first thing you do, PVA glue. Cover it with PVA glue. That will seal it. Bear in mind that a lot of that board is glue. And then the underside, which will be facing the road, is it ever going to be extremely weathered? Only when it's raining and you're driving in the rain or the wet. And the areas behind the wheels will get caught. So, once the glue's gone and the glue's dried off, and unfortunately, I bought too much chassis paint, enamel paint, very tough, durable paint. So the underside of the boards will be painted with chassis paint. This will protect the board. And due to the age of the vehicle, as most people do if you want to maintain the integrity and the structure of a vehicle, is once a year you go underneath. People wax oil, you've got Lanigard, you've got all sorts, different undersills. I use a traditional way of doing it. Old engine oil. Does the same job and you can pick it up for next to nothing. Quite often you can get it for free. And you just go under there, coat everything. You have weatherproof material. Am I ever going to be dragging heavy industrial machinery on and off and dumping heavy stuff onto that floor? 16 stone, me. So no, you don't have to follow the crowd. You don't have to do what others say you must do. I'm doing this by my own research alone, talking to other people, friends that are builders, and researching the integrity of different types of board for a fraction of the price. What I have there is enough ply to do the double floor and do all the sides and the roof in that Mercedes, and it cost me just £20 more than what it would have cost me to buy the buffalo board phenolic ply or equivalent. So I've saved myself quite a tidy little sum. It is just as durable as phenolic ply and buffalo boards. It will last the same as that buffalo and phenolic ply. That's the clever bit. Be the black sheep. Do your research. It can work, and hopefully it will work. But all it is, once it's in, it's done. So long as you've prepped it, treated it, and to maintain it, you'll get 40 years out of that. Bear in mind, the board that I took out of it didn't really need to come out, but because I needed to do some welding and the floor and that work, the floor had to come out. All that was marine ply. And that's lasted 40 years. So, another 40 years, even if you've only got 20 years, you're likely to change it, you'll have to get welding done. Save a few quid. Do your research. I have. So, there we have it. That's just a little update as to what I'm doing with the camper, and as I progress, yes, you will get more of the camper. In the meantime, have a look at the weather. Little bit grim. Hopefully you can all have a wonderful, wonderful day. I try to every day. Anyway, you take care for now, and I'll speak to you soon enough. Thank you for watching, and usual stuff, like, subscribe, all that, yeah, because that is, oh, excuse me, that is appreciated. It really is appreciated. Look forward to speaking to you very soon. You take care. Ta-da.